Delighted to be joined by Sam Jackman today in the second of our series on looking at our female founders within the British Design Fund. And it's timing, we've just launched our fifth fund. And of course, we had International Women's Day just the other day. And there's also been lots of press about the challenges of female founders getting funding. So I'm really looking forward to hearing Sam's views on that. So Sam, could you tell me just a little bit about who you are, what your enterprise is, and what stage of development you're at?
Yeah. So my name's Sam and I run Boost, and Boost is a company that designs breast forms and breast prostheses for women who've had breast cancer mostly, although we do some other things as well. And we are at a stage where we're selling our product. We're kind of in a little bit of a growth phase. We're trying very hard to increase our brand awareness. And this has been catalysed by the investment that we had from the British Design Fund, which has been about a year now since we had that investment, which has been able to drive us forward to where we are. But we do think that this year is going to be a much bigger year, and we're very ambitious for what's coming up.
Excellent. So, Sam, just talking about funding, I mean, we know that accessing funding generally for startups is a challenge, but how have you, as a female founder, felt that you're being treated in comparison to maybe your male counterparts?
I think in the early stages it was really difficult, but I don't think it was necessarily because I'm a female founder. I think it was more because our product and our product ethos is very much a product that is in the scope and experience of women and women who've had breast cancer. So I think that we did meet a lot of men who were having the power to decide and to make investment decisions. But I don't think it was necessarily just because I was a female founder that there was barriers to accessing those funds. I think that actually in the early stages it was really hard to communicate such a female focused product in a room full of male investors. But I don't think that was necessarily their fault or our fault. That's just the way it was, and it was really tricky. And it wasn't until we got a bit further down the line, we did a lot of self-financing, a lot of bootstrapping, and we had some products, and we'd started to show that the market really was there. Then it became a lot easier to seek investment and to help to show that there was a market for this product, because it was so radically different from what was available on the market before. I think that was a big challenge.
And Sam, do you think is that because there aren't there isn't a great female representation in funders? I know that what's that amazing quote that you have?
Oh yeah, so we were talking at an Innovate UK International Women's Day and Women in Innovation event, and I heard one of the other ladies say that your funding and decision making about funding is more likely to be done by a man called Dave than it is to be done by a woman. So women have less say, their voices might be less represented, and you're more likely to have your fund managed by a man called Dave, which was quite a shock really to people in the room, and it was quite an interesting statistic for us to understand. But actually, yes, I think that's right. I think having more women around the table to advise on funding, I think would potentially could have helped a little bit with our products, because it's such a female focused product. But actually, again, it possibly because of the radically different design as well. When you're really a hugely innovative company in the early stages, it's just very hard to communicate what your product's potential might be to potential investors. But yeah, I think it would help a lot more when we get more women around the table.
Yeah. Great. It's just as well probably then that we have a pretty diverse representation on our investment committee at the British Design Fund.
Yeah.
Sam, I mean, there's obviously as much female talent as male talent, in terms of innovation. What do you think we as a country need to do more to really support that and help the female founders of this world?
I think it's about raising aspirations and ensuring that female founders have the confidence to put themselves forward for funding. I think female founders tend to bootstrap. They tend to do things self-finance to a certain point. And I think female founders sometimes just a little bit more reluctant to put themselves forward or to step up. But having role models and having people who are visible, who've said, it's all right, I accessed funding, it was great, and it was for me, and it was fine. I think that really, really helps, having that peer-to-peer support or a network of other women who've been through an investment round was really useful for me when I was seeking investment. I don't know if you remember, John, but I actually had a chat with Jennifer from Colour Shoes before I made any decisions. Having the opportunity to do things like that really does help, and also just encouraging female founders to take those opportunities to speak to other women who've been through it, just to raise their confidence and to have that reassurance that they're going down the right route. I think that can really support women to make those kind of decisions.
Thanks, Sam. So what's it been like, your experience of the British Design Fund?
It's been good fun, actually. So far, it's been a really supportive investment program. Essentially, knowing that you've got a group of people there who can give you some mentoring, who've got the network of investees that we can call upon, like we just mentioned. For me, that's been really, really useful. And knowing there's other women in that cohort that I can talk to, that's also really, really great, actually, really great. There's the peer network with the British Design Fund, there's the investor network, there's the mentoring, which can help you if you have a particular issue with HR or financing or whatever you're looking at the moment, because being a founder is quite lonely sometimes. So actually having an investment group that is a little bit hands-on and having that network around it can be such a positive thing. And as a female founder and as somebody who faces challenges to doing what we do, because our product is a bit niche and a bit weird and very, very radical, having that backup behind me, I think, is really, really useful. And it was a really great decision to go for investment with the British Design Fund.
Great. Well, we enjoy working with you too, Sam. So now, lastly, just I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you recently won an award. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we I have been named by the NatWest and Telegraph's 100 female entrepreneurs to watch list, not only in the 100 but in the top 10 highly commended. So I was really delighted with that, and that opportunity has enabled me to open doors to network with people that I wouldn't usually network with. I've been working with MPs at Parliament to understand a little bit more about the work they do to empower women in enterprise. Been to my first all-party parliamentary group meeting about women in enterprise recently, which was really exciting to be involved with that. And just looking at the stuff that's behind the scenes with the Rose Review and the other initiatives, investing in Women Code, that is really helping to address some of the inequalities and to support female founders to understand what's available there to support them to access funding. It's a really exciting time, actually, and I'm really glad to be part of some of those conversations.
Fantastic. Sam, as always, lovely to talk to you, and thank you so much.
Thank you.